We light this candle in acknowledgement of the first peoples of this land, to acknowledge that it is stolen land. We recognize that this is the tribal land of the Luiseño and Kumeyaay nations. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Palomar Unitarian Universalist Fellowship Sunday service. We welcomed spring this week, and now we are balancing somewhat precariously between cold, wet, rainy days and warm, sunny days, between gray clouds and sunshine, between isolation and connection. And many of us have heard our minister, the Reverend Dr. Beth Johnson, say, as she often does on a Sunday morning, that we could be anywhere, but we're here today. And literally today we are anywhere and everywhere. We're all sheltered in our own homes in acts of love for our community, our families, our world. And we are here together to share worship in community, watching and sharing this worship service that was recorded earlier. Words of our congregational covenant have been running through my head lately. We are grounded. Today we'll be breathing together, breathing in unison. We are sustained in connection. Our connections might be in new or different ways, but we are connected nonetheless. And we are enriched by this time together in collective spiritual deepening. So welcome to Palomar Unitarian Universalist Fellowship Sunday service. Welcome here and welcome to wherever you are. I'm Susan and my pronouns are she, her, hers.
I'm Reverend Beth. My pronouns are she, her, hers. It's good to see you.
I'm Eileen, and my pronouns are she, her, hers.
Hi, I'm Kathleen, and my pronouns are she, her, hers.
I'm Kimberly Lilly, and my pronouns are she, her, hers.
I'm Elena. My pronouns are she, her, hers.
We are creating a sanctuary right here, right now, wherever we are. A sanctuary for voices still lifted up for peace and justice and compassion. A sanctuary for those seeking companionship in our struggles and our journeys. Breathe with me. Beloved ones, we gather in our separate homes, but connected across space and time. Threads in an interdependent web in which we are held. We belong to each other. In this community called together, called to be together, a community co-created by our intentions and our desire to be held in all of who we are. And to behold the holy in this unholy moment, to behold beauty in the face of devastation, to behold hope in the midst of uncertainty, to behold compassion rising within and around us. Let us breathe together again, beloved ones. It is good to be together.
Trees are one of the most beautiful examples of living in a balance. Without roots, a tree would fall over, but without the branches reaching upward and gathering the energy of light and sending it down the trunk to make the roots stronger, the tree would not flourish. All of us are accepting the challenge this week of living life in the balance.
Hi, everybody. It's Kathleen. Oh, and now it's them.
Spirit of light, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
It is now my turn. Hi, everybody. Oh, I'm really glad to be with you and still feeling sad not to see you. We're in our houses, we're in our places, we're staying safe. But something really exciting happened last week, on the 19th, in fact, of March, is that spring equinox came a little bit early this year. And normally it comes maybe like towards the evening of the 20th or the morning of the 21st, but this time it came on the 19th to the Americas. That's where we live. And it felt like maybe we needed a little bit of an early spring this year, because the last week has been a little weird and a little ungrounding and a lot out of balance. We're not going to school. Most of us aren't going to work. We're having to do a lot of new things, like me on the computer all the time. It's a new thing for me, and it doesn't feel so comfortable. And I'm trying to find my balance in doing that. Balance is hard because a lot of times we need certain things to help us feel balanced. We need enough sleep. We need enough good food. We need enough time with our friends. We need enough time outside, and we need enough time resting. And it feels like right now we're being told that we can only find our balance in certain ways. In Waldorf education, they talk about contraction times in our lives and expansion times in our lives, and in our days and in our minutes. And those contractions, we feel like we're having a lot of contracted time right like now. It's the time to do art, and it's the time to read, and it's the time to be quiet, and it's the time to study. And there's a lot of us that want to do a lot of expansive things right now. And that's running around, and that maybe is traveling, and that's maybe going out and talking to a lot of people. So the thing is, we have to find new ways to be expansive, different ways to be expansive. Now, I've heard a lot about a lot of people doing a lot of fun things in their house, maybe having dance parties with their family, or yoga sessions. I've heard about a lot of yoga teachers that are giving free yoga classes online. And if dancing or yoga isn't your thing, I've seen that there's people doing dance classes online. I mean, like, and exercise classes. I know that my kids do a lot of wrestling and boxing and stuff. So we're having to figure out new ways to be expansive, and we're having to try new things. So last week, I put you on a little experiment to see how many new things you could find. And I wanted to tell you about my new things. So other than working with the computer, which is a new thing for me, I don't think you all normally see me wearing glasses. And I've been trying to wear my glasses because usually I'm running out of the house so fast, I always forget my glasses. But now they're right here in front of me. So I'm trying to get used to wearing my glasses. I'm also starting a few new gardening beds, and I'm trying to learn how to embroider. So these are all, this is a contraction thing. So I want you to write those lists. I want you to take those pictures of all the new things you're doing and all the fun things you're doing and share them with us. Send me pictures, put them on Facebook. And let's see what we're trying to do in our own little homes to practice some of the contraction things we do and also some of the expansion things that we're gonna do. So my friend Eileen, who is a yoga teacher, is going to do something with us all right now. So I'm gonna stand up and Eileen's gonna talk and we're gonna do a yoga pose with her.
Well, I chose tree pose for Kathleen because it's a good interplay between downward energy, which is your roots, and upward energy, which is your branches. And for me, being in the house feels like downward energy, and I usually like it because I'm really busy. But now, because I've been in my house so much, it's too much downward energy for me. And you throw rain in, which is another downward energy. It's pulling me down. So I was very happy to see sun today, and that did lift me up. But you can feel kind of the energies I'm talking about in your body through this little yoga pose. So if you're gonna do it standing, just make sure that your feet can feel the floor. And it is a nice feeling to be barefooted. And if you're gonna do it seated, you want your sit bones to feel the chair. So you might have to wiggle a little bit and get your sit bones right on the chair. And then with your feet, you push down. From the waist down, you push down. So whether you're seated or standing, you push down, and that automatically lifts you up. It's like pushing and pushing apart. And then let's take a nice big breath and inhale our arms up and exhale them down. So this time when you inhale and lift, push your feet or your sit bones down and pull your belly in. And you feel a little bit of power at the center of your body. One more time, really root down. Lift your chest and your shoulders up, and then exhale down. So now for tree pose. Choose which foot, this is mostly for people standing, but choose which foot you want to balance. And imagine roots coming out of the sole of your feet and heading through the floor and wiggling down into the earth like tree roots do. And then bend your other knee and draw that foot up your leg. And you can always use the wall for support. There's no shame in taking support where you find it. So now you pull your belly in and push from the waist down and feel your leg charge up. From the waist up, lift your branches, grow your branches above your head. And then if you even want to get wings, you can draw your chest a little bit through and then bring your arms to the front in a prayer. And I want to thank you for joining in with me in tree pose.
As Unitarian Universalists, we don't share a dogma, we don't recite a creed. What we do is we walk together in the ways of love. We're steeped in our affirmation of the inherent worth of everyone. And we have deep love for the interdependent web of which we're all a part. We do strive together to work toward beloved community, toward a world of peace and justice for all. And we do share a covenant that we at Palomar Unitarian Universalist Fellowship wrote together using our democratic process. Today, we'll remember the words of our children's covenant. I'll start with our value statement. In mutual love and grace, we journey together, grounded in profound respect for a diversity of beliefs and ideas, sustained by service and shared ministry, enriched through collective spiritual deepening and a safe environment for all generations to thrive. Together, we are more than we would ever be alone. Therefore, we promise to welcome and include everyone, to listen carefully and speak kindly, to help and share what we have with the community. Thus do we covenant with each other.
I invite you to take a breath with me. We do a lot of breathing at Palomar Fellowship because we know, I know, that the breath connects us with everything that ever was, connects us with oxygen molecules that have been in existence since the beginning of time. It connects us to this present moment, breathing in and out, connecting us across space and time. And on the exhale makes us ancestors for all who will come. Now we are careful about where we're breathing these days. We're practicing social distancing because the breath connects us, and in close proximity for some, that's not the safest thing to do. And as I reflected on the song that Kimberly played, which is filled with loving kindness. May I be filled with loving kindness. May you be filled with loving kindness. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be peaceful and at ease. And that is our prayer for this time, a time of uncertainty, a time of feeling like sometimes it's not as peaceful as we would like. So the intention, and we'll get to that actually a little bit later on, is we commune with our inner self, is that peaceful and at ease. And as I listened to Eileen and to Kathleen talk about that meditation of roots and branches, it so resonates with me. My practice for many years is earth-centered. I know myself not separate from earth at all. And so I draw nurturance when I imagine that I have roots that go down into the earth. And then I have branches that reach up to the cosmos, connect me with all that is, with the source of life and love. So I hope that you'll keep with us throughout this week in this meditation of roots and branches. So practice it one more time. Even if you're sitting, imagine you have roots going down into the earth. And breathe up the energy of Mother Earth. And feel that move through your body. And imagine branches coming out of the top of your head, truly like a tree, and call down all of the inspiration and source of life. And know that that is who you are, and that is what moves through you. And I know that we come today and in these days with cares and concerns, with worry. We also remember those moments of joy, the times when we have felt connected. I invite you to just connect into your body with that, whatever it is that you have with you in this moment, your joys, your sorrows, your concerns, your loves. And know that in these moments, we are sharing this time together, and you are always and everywhere held in love and mystery deeper than you can know. I invite you into a prayer that's written by Anne Mason. Spirit of life, your very presence among us is what gives us connection. Help us to sense that beneath our feet is the strength we need to keep us grounded. Help us to feel that behind our back is the protection we need to feel safe facing our fears. Help us to know that before our eyes lies the beauty we seek to feel astounded. Help us to lift our heads enough to be aware of the vastness of our sky and of our spirit, and help us to know that within our hearts lies the love we need to complete the circle of compassion in our lives. Help us to know that within our hearts lies the love we need to complete the circle of compassion in our lives. We are grateful, Spirit of life, for this day. May we use all these gifts, our feet, our backs, our eyes, our head, our hearts, to feel love, to bring love, and to be love into this hurting world. This world, which we so value, which we cherish. Amen. Well, we've certainly practiced some balance with Kathleen and Eileen, and roots that hold us close and wings and branches that set us free. Grounded, we're able to sway and stay rooted in times of turbulence. Connected to the source of life, we're able to draw strength and give and receive inspiration. So as you heard, the equinox passed on Thursday, 8:49 p.m. to be exact. And that is the time when it is the balance between light and dark, inner and outer. And for just a moment, twice a year, there's a pause. Well, there's more pauses than that. But in the cycle of the seasons, those are pause times. And like the pause between the in-breath and the out-breath, a still point. And what we learn from this is that the notion of balance, inner and outer, light and dark, is the still point. And even as the light begins to grow, perhaps the sacred truth for us in this time, and as much as we long for balance in our lives and in the world, we know that the balance is always shifting. And we know that now so acutely, don't we? I'm feeling it. You and me and the cosmos, we are always in flux. The balance with the birth of spring happened just as we were feeling the impact of a time of imbalance. Up until then, I mean, it got clearer and clearer, didn't it? That we were out of balance. Now, systems theory has taught us that all systems seek for a thing called homeostasis. It's balance. And we know that systems shift to achieve and maintain balance. And so too do we move in and out of that balance. And we see around us right now systems that are needing to change and systems that are under pressure. The capitalist system is shifting, causing imbalance, causing concern. Other systems are under pressure. And we say at times like these, in this disruption of our lives, I lost my balance, right? And we seek to right ourselves by adjusting and shifting and changing something, of juggling our commitments and our responsibilities. We say it's a balancing act. And how many of you in the past week or two, and especially this last week, are feeling all of the balancing and juggling that you have to do, especially if you have a number of people in your household that you might not be sure, have all that experience of being with them all the time. We take time from one area, put it to another, seeking for balance, and yet knowing that something always comes around to shift that. The balance is that thing that we seek to maintain rather than something that we achieve once and for all. We use the phrase in the balance to point to the fragility of life in times of danger. We say of one who has been seriously injured or is in a precarious position, life is hanging in the balance. In the balance. And that's true. It's true right now that life is hanging in the balance. And so it is that this life is hanging in the balance, and life is continuing in this time of spring to flourish and to grow. This whole time that I've been sitting here, a dove has been cooing steadily. I think she's on my roof. And what she reminds me is that as I seek for balance, there's a balance that I can achieve internally in these times. My office, welcome to my office, my home office, by the way. It faces north and it faces the street that I live on. And I have the neighbors on either side of me, both had babies within seriously a week of each other. And so I watch them out with the babies. One has another smaller child and a dog named Tater Tot. And I watch them walk down the street, knowing that their lives too are seeking for that balance, but also seeking for that sunshine and that breeze. And Susan talked about how we've been shifting between rain and sun. And what are we called to be and do in a time of great imbalance? There's two paths to take to do that constant adjusting and to feel ourselves in wholeness and to experience the world in this time. It's what author Bo Lozoff calls the inner path of communion and the outer path toward community. Like roots that hold us close, the inner path of communion is the means to work to find a place of stillness and practices that connect us to that inner source. Our knower, I don't know, my knower's here. I don't think you can see that, by that belly button place Eileen talked about. The still small voice, the spirit of life, the holy within, to make space for what we are feeling, no matter what it is. Now, in this time when some of us are home alone, it can seem like, well, there's way too much stillness. Now, if that's the case for you, that's okay, because inner communion can be found in noisy practices. It's not surprising to me, but I'm noticing how many of us are suggesting singing, dancing, chanting the names of God, Om Namah Shivaya. Inner communion can be found when you're taking a walk, if you can, or sit by an open window, feel a breeze, listen to those birds, listen to books. Allow yourself to be with yourself with all of what is happening. And if that's scary, know that you're not alone. We're all having so many feelings at this time. And it's okay. It's okay to feel everything. You're not feeling it alone. And that brings me to the outer path toward community. And that might seem hard at first to take that in these days, but beloved, isn't that what we're doing right now? Connecting in worship, calling each other on the phone, texting, and then here we are in Zoom meetings. I've been in a lot of Zoom meetings lately. I am going to see my precious family on Zoom for the first time on Sunday. We've never done Zoom before. I've really wanted to get them to do it, and finally they're going to do it. I get to see their faces. I find myself doing simple things, texting friends, checking in, telling them and I love them. Wings set me free. Let us stretch out our arms and embrace those we love, even from afar. Let us embrace the world and all beings, and in so doing, we are indeed, even in a time of great uncertainty and fear. This is what I believe that we're doing, and I see it happening. I see it everywhere. Online activism, the work that we're doing in our community to keep us safe and connected. We are reimagining and reconstituting the world we wish to see. So breathe with me one more time. Know that you're loved. Having found stillness, may we share peace. Having received connection, may we reach out to others. Having heard the call of our deepest self, may we live in greater alignment. Having returned to our center, may we expand the circle of love. Amen.
The way we use our offertory is a perfect example of what Beth is talking about. We give half of our plate to a local nonprofit to help others, to reach out and help others in our community. And we use the other half of our plate share to take care of business as usual at our fellowship and to care for those in our own fellowship community. We have some new ways to give, so we're trying new things, and one of them is called Text to Give. You can text the phone number that's on the screen, and then, or dial it, text it. Oh my gosh, you can tell I'm old. And then text the word give to donate and hit return. If it's your first time, there'll be some setup steps. Otherwise, once you've done that, you can text a number, an amount, followed by plate to give $20 to plate. A number followed by the word pledge to give 100 towards your pledge. Or we have a new category. You can text an amount to community to give 25 or to give money to Beth's discretionary fund, and she will talk with those in need, and that money will go towards people who can use that right now. We do go inward to care for ourselves, but we're also reaching outwards to care for and support others. We're doing great right now. We've received, on our pledge drive, we've received 37 pledges and collected over $78,000. You may be receiving a reminder email this week, or a reminder call, or a paper pledge packet in the mail. And we appreciate everything that you can do at this moment. And I want to tell you, I'm so grateful for our generous community, and have been touched by all the ways people are taking care of themselves and reaching out to others.
Maybe we're all different, but we're still the same. We've all got the blood of Eden running through our veins. I know sometimes it's hard for you to see. You're caught between just who you are and who you want to be. But when you feel lost, alone, and need a friend, remember every new beginning is some beginning's end. Welcome to wherever you are. This is your life. You've made it this far. Welcome. You've got to believe that right here and now you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Welcome to wherever you are. Everybody's in and you're left out, and you feel like you are drowning in a shadow of doubt. Everyone's a miracle in their own way. Just listen to yourself, not what other people say. When you feel lost, alone, and you're feeling down, remember everybody's different. Just take a look around. Welcome to wherever you are. This is your life. Made it this far. Welcome. You got to believe that right here and now you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Be who you want to be who you are. Everyone's a hero, everyone's a star. When you wanna give up and your heart's about to break, remember that you're perfect. God made no mistake. Welcome to wherever you are. This is your life. You've made it this far. Welcome. Got to believe right here and now. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. Welcome. I said welcome. I said welcome. I said welcome to wherever you are.
I want to remind you to stay connected even as we stay away. We weren't able to do joys and sorrows in this service, but we'll be starting a weekly Vesper service where there'll be a time to join us live, and we'll send out information on how you can do that. And we can share our joys and sorrows and a time of meditation and connecting. And that's going to be Tuesday at 4 o'clock. And we'll let you know more about that. We'll have more information on ways for you to, stay safe and in balance and connected to one another. So I know I'll see you soon. I love you. Join me in our chalice extinguishing words. Although we extinguish this flame, we carry in our hearts the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment until we are together again.
Sometimes in our lives we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long. I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please follow your guide. If I have things you need to borrow, or no one can fill those of your needs that you are pleasure. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can't carry, I'm right up the road. I'll share your load if you just call me. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Just call on me, kindred, when you lend a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody to lean on. We all need
peace. Be makers of peace. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.